Make sure you get there in plenty of time. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you know where your start is, especially if it's a big city marathon, because you've got 35,000 other people who are going to be there on the day. Make sure you know where your start is and you're not rushing around with your heart rate already up. Don't do anything different on race day which you haven't done in training, i.e. don't wear new shoes. Don't wear new kit because it could rub and be very painful. Don't experiment with any drinks that you haven't tried. That is the key one. I mean, so many people, I mean, I know London will have their drink sponsors. Make sure you've used that drink in your training runs, because there's nothing worse than getting an upset stomach at 21, 22 miles and end up sitting at the side of the road. Always take loads of warm clothes, because you never know. I mean, if we're talking about London, any big city marathon, any marathon come to that, it could be cold. And it's always best to have too many clothes, because you can take them off. It means gloves and hats to begin with. You can always peel them off as you sort of start the race. So I wouldn't stand there in a vest shivering, you know, even if it's having a long sleeve t-shirt and cutting the holes so your numbers sticking out. You know, there's all sorts of things like that you can do. Make sure you don't run the first few miles too quick, because very, very easy to do, because you've just had a week off training. You haven't done any training. You know, it's dial a race, you know, you're all excited and whatever, that gun goes, and it's so easy to get caught up in somebody else's race, somebody else's pace, and believe me, it will find you out somewhere along the line. From Tower Bridge, going right out to Canary Wharf, which I always used to call, I think Eamon Martin once called it the dead zone, because you're running away from the finish. It's where the crowds get a little bit thinner, and it's the time in the race where you know, if you're going to lose it mentally, that's where you're going to lose it. So I used to really concentrate for that 6 miles, and it's been really tough, because if it's gonna fall apart, that's when it's going to fall apart. But I think it's very important that you drink early on in a marathon. You don't. A lot of people leave it until they're thirsty. It's too late, then you're dehydrated. So the best thing to do is always drink little and often. So at your first drink station, take a drink. Make sure you're well hydrated before the race, and obviously the night before as well. You know, just make sure you're drinking loads the 3 days leading up to the marathon. My diet used to be about 85% carbohydrate. So I would just make sure the evening before the race, I just have a little bit more carbohydrate than I would normally have as well. So, you know, so you're standing on the start line, and it doesn't matter if you're standing on the start line and you feel about a pound overweight or anything. That doesn't matter at all. In fact, the sign is it's a good way to be. You do lots of your training doing your long runs as well, so you can actually train your body to actually keep going when you do hit that wall. There's lots of drinks, lots of isotonic drinks. Have you all heard about the pasta parties and things like that? That all helps, because it gives you glycogen, which your body uses as fuel anyway, and it's when you run out of glycogen, your muscles run out of glycogen, is when you hit the wall. So you can stand on that start line really loaded up with glycogen and drinks and good fuel, and hopefully that'll take you through the 26 mile. I always just write my splits on my arms, so I went through at 5k. I knew I wanted to go through 5k in 10k, and if you went through a bit quick, you could slow down. I think everybody should do London Marathon at least once in their life, because it's such a fantastic experience. Yes, it is a long while, it's 26 miles, but you know, it's just, the camaraderie is absolutely fantastic between the athletes, and every mile there's bands playing. It's really a lot of fun, and you know, crossing that line is just a unique experience. Whether you're running 2 hours 6 minutes or you're running 6 hours, it doesn't matter. New York's the same. New York, you go to New York, and the atmosphere there is absolutely unbelievable as well, and to run around the biggest, you know, one of the major cities in the world. Yeah, big city marathons are very special.